Alrighty, so the next thing we're going to do is the horn. And I've learned a new trick for doing the horn this time. I've been Googling every possible way to try and make it the easiest possible for you. So, you want to use your entire piece of yellow fondant. And because what you have to do is, because you have to twirl it round, it needs to be really, really long. So the first thing that we've done is it asks you to cut your horn skewer to 8.5 centimeters. So I've cut this one off with a knife. 18.5, so that we can put the horn will go here. It goes in the hair and it supports it. You're putting it at a slight angle. Let me get a slight angle like this. You need it far enough forward that it doesn't tear out the back of your cake. You know, don't put it up here or it'll lopside at the back. So you can see it's in here. If you don't cut it to 18.5 centimeters, your horn's going to be way up here. And it's just going to be like a nightmare. So leave that one in there. And then with the fondant, again, we have molded and warmed this fondant, just like we did for the main. I tend to do this first and get it to roughly the shape. You want it to be skinny at one end for the top of the horn, and you want it to be fat at the other end for the bottom. And it also needs to be like 1 meter long, like long. So start off by sort of thickening it up like this, and then you can slowly start winding it out. Just take your time doing this because you really want it to look good. So you need to think at this end with how thin this end is, because you start it. You don't want it so thick that your horn is the biggest horn in the whole universe at the bottom. You got to imagine you're going to bend it all the way around. So you can kind of look at it and go, okay, yep, that seems like a good size for the bottom of my horn. If it had been really thick, it could end up looking like this big. So you can kind of look at that and say, yep, that looks like a good size. And then you just slowly blend it up. The other thing with this is you do the horn the first time and it's the wrong length. Just take it off and do it again. You know, it's not a case of, well, I've done it now, I'm stuck with it. You can go again and have another shot at it. So, as you can imagine, the challenge with this is actually lifting it off the piece of paper and not tearing the whole thing. So, bring the cake to the fondant, like this, so it's right next to it. You can then leave this all on the table for a while. You don't have to lift it up. So, you start at one end. You want the join to be hidden at the back. So, but you also want to make it the circle, so flatten it down, and then you just, she says, you just pick it up, and hang on, make it just a little bit wider, I think. Do you know how much pressure it feels when you guys are live and I'm going to screw up this horn? Okay, if you don't make your fondant warm enough, the other thing is it can crack as you bend it. So that's why you need to know that it's really flexible like this. So you can see that we ended up with extra, which is a good thing. Then you can tear it as it gets to the top. So, but you can see it uses a lot more fondant than you think it will. It needs to be quite a lot longer than you imagine. And then you get to stop. We've covered the horn. We do the last part, and then we get to the top, and you pull off this bit, and you can just shape the last bit. So you can either, it's kind of hard for me to see from there, but you can straighten it all out. How does it look? Does it look good?
Beautiful.
And there is your little horn.